Welcome to Real Truth Real Quick. My name is Rick Smith. I'm here with Todd Wagner. How you doing, Todd?
I am well. Hello, friends.
Well, I'm going to preface this with saying I have the best in-laws in the world. Second question is, how much influence should your in-laws have in your marriage?
Well, it depends, man. Are they going to be a godly influence in your life? Now, listen, you should treat your in-laws with great respect. We're told in the Bible, in the Big Ten, it's the first commandment with a promise that you should honor your mother and your father. When you get married, your mom and your dad are still your mom and your dad. And in fact, now you have a spouse who also has a mom and a dad, and you ought to honor them. But honor them, the best way to honor mom and dad is to make sure that you do that which is honorable to the Lord. And it's what it says in Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, that for this purpose, all right, marriage, a man shall leave his father and mother and shall cleave to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. We did a Real Truth Real Quick on what it means to leave, cleave, and become one flesh. And we talk about leaving being the time that you adjust or refocus every relationship or activity. Even as a single person with my mom and my dad, I honor them by letting them speak into my life and by giving me counsel and telling me what they think because they love me. And especially if they are godly people themselves, they're going to want to admonish me to be, obedient to Christ in all areas. Now listen, moms and dads are imperfect. I love to say that their parents aren't perfect, right? We're not the always the reflection of our Heavenly Father as parents as much as He is the perfection of your earthly parents. That's who God is. But moms and dads, are going to always be for you, or they should be. But you've got to adjust and refocus your relationship with your mom and dad when you get married to where they are not the primary guiding influence in your life. You are the head of your own household. And so your relationship with your mom and dad adjusts even while you still honor them. And you want to make sure that you don't stay, if you're a woman, attached to your mama or your daddy. And you want to make sure, if you're the man, that you're not just trying to please your father. Maybe sometimes, and especially this is true, when parents are financially intertwined with their children, which I do not recommend, that there is a financial tie that, hey, if you want to continue to vacation this way, maybe live in that house, get funded, continue to get some kind of allowance, right? You got financial ties with in-laws in a way that you want to make sure you don't upset them. You're not going to lead your family probably all the ways that you should. If mom and dad want to be involved in some way that is a blessing to you, that's fine. But it's not a blessing to you if they are controlling you with money, okay? And controlling you with the way that they've always related to their little girl now that you've gotten away as a guy by jumping into that relationship. A godly mom and dad are going to want to do everything they can to help your marriage succeed because the two of you are forming an independent family that will live in relationship with them in peace and harmony, but not be subject to them. Okay? So how much influence should your in-laws have in your marriage? Man, it depends on what they're trying to influence you with. Okay? So you honor your mom and dad, but you make sure that you start that new family. You got to adjust and refocus your relationship. You got to make sure that nothing enters into your relationship with your new bride or your new man that's going to cause you guys in any way to not be cemented together, because that's the goal of marriage, is oneness, not continual dependence. So is there a specific question sometimes that people submit and ask about this? Yeah, we get them. Like, hey, I've got a meddling mother or father-in-law, and I would sit down with them and I would say, I know you love us. And I need to tell you that the way this relationship is going right now is not leading to blessing. You're hindering the way that your daughter and I are able to pursue oneness, or you're hindering the way that that my husband can lead our family by the way you keep jumping in. And so I would make sure that it is not undue influence that's keeping you guys from being a new, independent, thriving family unit.
Todd, I want to talk to you not as a pastor now, but as a daddy. I saw you give your daughter away at our church. As a dad, is that hard to not always want to jump in and say, this is the way your dad would do it? Or how do you deal with that?
I just say this. I mean, first of all, it's why one of the greatest jobs that a dad can do is to make sure, especially with their little girl, that he is setting her up for success in a marriage because she's marrying a godly man. I asked my son-in-law, I said, how much did I meddle in your relationship with my daughter as you guys were courting? On a scale of 1 to 10, he goes, can I say 0? And I go, that's right. But guess how much I would have if I would have needed to, if you didn't conduct yourself with honor.
I know you well enough to know you would have.
I would have been 11 on a scale of 1 to 10, where I would have done everything I could to tell my little daughter, hey, this doesn't look like it's going to go well with you if you yoke yourself to this man that doesn't think biblically. But because I think biblically, okay, I knew that my job was to set my daughter up to be a godly wife. And she is now that man's bride, not my daughter anymore. My job is to encourage them together to be a couple that honors Christ. And she's no longer subject to me. It says, wives, be subject to your husbands, not to your daddy. All right? And so I encourage those two. And it was easier for me because I think I did a good job of helping my daughter have an appetite only for a godly man. And hopefully because her father is a godly man, I do nothing but set them up for success.
Awesome. Thanks, Todd. Yeah. Well, listen, we have over 200 episodes on our YouTube channel. You can check that out at the link below. We'd encourage you to jump in there, check out some of our past episodes, and we'll see you next week on another episode.